and it's time for another theme. April's theme is colors, and the assignments are saturation, the joy of colors, complementary colors, and color of life. Hi, it's Peter here, and let's get right into the business. Color photography has been around for a long time. The first color photograph was made in 1861 by Thomas Sutton. The three-color method was invented by James Clerk Maxwell in 1855. The subject was photographed through red, green, and blue filters 3 times, and they were sandwiched together and made the print. But it was not until 1970s when color photography became mainstream. Now that this short introduction to color in photography is done, let's get into the assignments. The first one is saturation. Saturation is the depth of the color in an image, the intensity of the color. So the more intense the color is, more saturated it is. Using saturation to tell a story is a story about passionate feelings or a happier mood, and those are the ones that I'm looking for in this one. Of course, you can interpret this the way you want. It's just some suggestions that I'm giving you. I'm not telling you what to photograph or how to photograph. These are just some kind of an inspiration for you. So when I talk about the assignments, don't take them too literally. You can tweak them and you can interpret them the way you like. This is just an inspiration, as I said. And red is the most intense color. If you see red in an image, most likely that's the first thing you see. And that's, of course, one reason why, for example, traffic signs have a lot of red, especially if it's about some warnings. And yellow is also something that we see quite often as a first color in an image. And that's why, especially here in Finland, we have also yellow is another color in these warning traffic signs. And play around with the saturation and see how it affects the mood of your photograph. You can do that in post, just adding the saturation, or just adding saturation to a certain color, or you can tweak your camera settings. Check out from the manual if you don't know how to boost up the saturation for your images, and usually you need to shoot JPEG to do that. If you're shooting RAW, it might not affect the colors at all, and you have to do it in post. But if you're not so much into post-processing your images, try to use saturation adjustments in your camera. And then the second one, the joy of colors. Colors around us gives us joy. It makes the world look friendlier, the world look better. It's, well, to be honest, having a lot of colors around you makes you feel good, unless it's a mess of different colors. And we will talk about that in complementary colors a bit more. So it's always about the balance between different colors, and different colors have different meanings too, and that, you know, might differ in different cultures. So learn about colors, and I will put some links to websites in the description where you can learn more about colors and how they affect and what does different colors mean. But on this assignment, I was thinking about the joy of colors, how colorful scenes, colorful places make us feel good. And if you can find that or get something out of that and show us some joyful colors in your surroundings. And the third assignment is complementary colors. Complementary colors are the opposite colors in a color wheel. And the most common opposite colors are, of course, red and green, yellow and purple, and blue and orange. And the widespread use of complementary colors in movies is a big thing, especially orange and teal is a blue color. They complement each other, and making orange and teal look is to add orange to your highlights and add some blue to your shadows. The reason they use that is, of course, the skin tones are better on that color palette, and then also they kind of add contrast because they are the strongest opposite colors is orange and teal. That's why it's very popular in movies. So if you want to make a cinematic interpretation of complementary colors, maybe you try to figure out how to make orange and teal to your main look in your image. That would be really interesting. And on that, it doesn't have to be saturated. On this one, you can also be more subtle colors, more maybe pastel type color palette or something like that. Red and green against each other is really powerful. And of course, yellow and purple too. So play around with these colors and see if you can find scenes that have these colors, and if don't, then why not play around with the colors in post? That's also one thing to do, and especially if you Orange Until, you might need to do that. But try to find the complementary colors and see how the image looks with those colors. And then the fourth one is color of life. And this is something that can be interpreted as a metaphor. What is color of life? It's different things, it's a different way of living, or different things we do, and some things that are not the way we do it. We find something different, some different approach to life from someone. That is color of life, in my opinion. And as I said at the beginning, you don't have to interpret the assignments as I do. Try to find your own way of interpreting the assignments. And this one is for those who want to do some storytelling. What is color of life in your surroundings, or where, if you travel, or whatever it is. And I think this is the most exciting assignment, but also the hardest of all of these, because it's a metaphor. And also, this is a good one because this doesn't really limit the image to real colors. It can be a metaphor, and that's why it also is something that you can do no matter your genre is. And as I said, I will put some links in the description to different information about colors, and I will have a live stream where I give feedback to your images. So be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that bell so you won't miss that video, and also you won't miss the information about when to send your images. So I also have a newsletter which I will send usually once a week. So there will be more information about that time when you need to or can send those images. I hope this was inspirational for you, and I really hope to see you learning new things about color, and because learning is about experimenting with different things, and try to widen your idea of photography with this theme. But hey, thanks for watching, and bye for now.